and we are live. It's the first time we've gone live in a little bit. I got the air going on right now. I'm gonna turn it off here in a minute so it gets quiet. But for right now, while we're waiting for people to join in, it's going to be on. But what a weird, I guess unpredicted for me, outcome of what's happened with this team. From all the Calvin Johnson news of late and what is going on with Darius Slay and big play snacks. Yikes, snacks. What's going on, Gridiron Blitz? Missed your live stream. I'm gonna catch it later when I get home. But I seen 313 JMO say it last night. Check him out. His link's in the description. That he thinks this is all smoke and mirrors, pretty much, for Hard Knocks. So I'm not going to talk about that so much. If you want to see what he said, go to Noble Sports Entertainment channel. His link's in the description as well, and see what they talked about last night. But that really struck out to me. I liked his point of view on that one. So go check him out. What's going on, man? What's going on? But before we talk into this, I want to thank all of you guys. For those of you guys who did not see, we are officially monetized. We are officially going to be getting a little bit of money. So it is much appreciated. It is crazy that we got this far. Never expected this in a million years, but thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. So, back to what we're talking about right now. I am not happy with this situation at all. They are, respectively, the best players, or I should say the top 2 to 3 players at their positions. And, that's up for debate. There's a lot of good players, a lot of good nose tackles, and a lot of good corners in the league. But they are at the cream of the crop at their positions. Do they deserve to be paid? Absolutely. But you already have contracts. You don't see this with the NBA. They wait for their contracts to be expired or in the final year before they do this stuff. And the NBA, they don't hold out. If you sign a contract, you live up to it. No other job in the world do you hold people ransom. You don't tell your boss that I'm not coming to work until you give me a raise. Now, you can leave that job and go somewhere else for a better opportunity, but you don't just hold your boss ransom. It's not fair. It's not cool. Those guys should be ashamed of themselves. I thought both these guys were high class. Now, Golden Tate left Detroit. He was traded, but then he left Philly. He did not hold this team ransom. He played through his contract that he signed. These guys could have asked for whatever they wanted before inevitably doing what they're doing right now. So I don't feel any sympathy or remorse for them. It's the same thing with Calvin Johnson. I love all 3 of those players, but they signed contracts. They agreed to a term, and they're not living up to it. I do not feel any remorse or sympathy. These guys are millionaires. It's not like, this is their rookie contract year, and they carried us to a Super Bowl. Snack's only been here for a few months. He hasn't even been here for a year yet. He's holding out. It's not cool, and I don't like it. Let's get caught up here. Yeah, the Super Chat icon is here. Waiting on the first person to use it, so we don't know who that's going to be yet. We'll find out here soon, hopefully. We will see. But back to the Lions. This was supposed to be a good season for the Lions. High expectations, a strong front runner to win the NFC North, and the season hasn't even officially begun yet. Off season has been crazy for this team. You go out and sign a bunch of good free agents, a bunch of positive news media for getting what you got, and then you go through the draft and pretty much do your thing that you always do under Bob Quinn, and that's draft good people that no one knows and are going to turn them into something special. So looking forward to that. But then after that, big play Slay Snacks don't show up to voluntary OTAs. You have this thing breaking out with Calvin Johnson that he wants the money back in his pocket. And now mandatory training camp, 2 of your best defensive players don't even want to show up. So I heard Deshaun Hand has been staying after practice and working on his game and teaching the younger guys what you need to do and showing them techniques and stuff. Now, that is huge for such a young player showing him. And I can't remember who he said showed him how to do that or taught him the extra, mentality of staying after practice and putting in the hard work. But it's gonna prove in the off season or the season. The thing with Snacks though, and I don't have a problem paying him, but he is 30 something. I mean, he is older. Now, he is the best run stopper in the league. But how much longer is he going to be able to perform like that? Slay, he is in his prime. And he did have a bad, I guess in his eyes, a bad season last year. I just, if we're doing the New England way, and if we are to become the New England Lions, Bill Belichick doesn't pay people over 30 unless you're Tom Brady. Really the only people in New England got paid was Tom Brady and Gronk. Yeah, I know he was hurt, but in his eyes, even when he was healthy, he was still balling. But in his eyes, he had a bad year, and it wasn't even that bad of a year. But back to New England, they don't pay anyone except for the quarterback. So if that's the way Bob Quinn and Patricia were brought up, they may not want to pay him that money. I don't know. I don't know what is going on with this franchise, because they didn't talk to Golden Tate about a contract extension the way they handled it the right way. But that was in his final year. It wasn't like he had 2-3 years left on his contract. Yes, I did say the New England Lions. Yeah, I think that was part of the reasons the Giants traded him, though. They didn't want to pay him, and they're trying to rebuild. So... But again, though, he has 2 years left on his contract. He could have, before he signed that contract, asked for more money. You want to trade Slay? I don't know about. I don't know if I'm going to go that far. Slay's still good enough where we can work it out and pay him. He's not that bad. He didn't decline that much. If the injuries continue and he does become an injury-prone player, then we might be looking at this. And I think that's why it's come to this point. Because they're looking at the line in the sand and seeing what is going to be happening with him. Health-wise, injury-wise, is he going to bounce back? But not showing up to training camp, that's a gamble, I just don't like it. I really don't like it. It's selfish, not selfish. What am I talking about? But I'm trying to stay calm. I really am. I don't like players holding out. You have an obligation to your team. And, regardless if you play for money, play for Super Bowl, or just play for the love of the game, you are letting your teammates down. You're setting a bad example to the younger guys. It's like a little kid when he doesn't get what he wants. He's throwing a temper tantrum. He's not happy. He needs to be put in timeout. I heard they are going to fine them. I'm not sure how much that fine is going to be. We're going to see how long they sit out, I guess. But I don't get it. I guess right now, next man up, I liked what Patricia said. He's not worried about Snacks and Big Play Slay right now. He's worried about the guys that are there. He's teaching them. So that is the only thing that he can do. Aaron Donald is probably the best defensive player in football right now. So he deserved every nickel, penny, and dime that he got. So I don't have a problem with Aaron Donald holding out, because he is the best player in the league defensively. 88,000. That's a lot of money. That is a lot of money. And you know what though? That's just like pocket change to them. That's nothing for them. I don't get it. I really don't get it. So basically, let's just take that, because I didn't know how much that was. Let's take this into consideration here. So 88,000 for 3 days. That's going to add up. Okay? It's going to add up in no time. The time you get your new deal and you get that 88,000, is it per day? Well, you're going to be missing what? Let's see, like almost $250,000 for a bigger deal. That's just money down the toilet. Why not show up, prove that what your worth is, and earn it the hard way, you know? Oh, for all 3 days? Okay. So it's not that much. All right, I got you guys. I got you guys. But nonetheless, it's still stupid. It's still stupid. Let's see. All right. That's going to get annoying. I have to do this a couple times because my phone did overheat. I'm trying to cool it off, but it does not. My phone does not work good on hot days. But let me try to refinish what I was reading here. I'm sure they did talk about it in the off season, and it is new to us. Uh, I'm almost 100% that's happened, but man, it's still stupid. You know it's gonna happen. I don't like the whole standpoint of sitting out. The only exception I have for this is Aaron Donald and Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell kept getting franchise tagged and not getting a contract. When it's like that, then yeah, I get it. I do. But for to have 2 years on your contract, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. All right, let's try to get caught up on here. Yeah, I had hot days. My phone does not work. Everything's super slow right now, so it'll probably happen again. But we'll see. If I was a player and all my teammates were getting paid, I'd be happy for them. And I'm not a greedy person. If I sign a contract, I'm living up to it. I don't. This is really getting annoying. I'm sorry. You gotta save it for my laptop. But like I was saying, if I was my team, if my teammate was getting paid like that, and I just signed a contract or whatever a few years prior, I'm living my end of the agreement up. So I'd be happy for them. And if they can surround me with talent and help me get to the Super Bowl or win the division, that's only going to help me in contract time. And eventually I could leave and go somewhere else and make my money there. If you win a Super Bowl and you win games, more and more people are going to be looking at you and seeing what you're doing and help you get money. So if I'm Darius Slay, I'm not worried about it. Because when he's a free agent, when his contract's up, someone is going to offer him an insane amount of money. So if I'm Slay, I'm not going to worry about it. His time's going to become, and it's not like he's poor. He's got more money than I'll ever see in my lifetime. So I have no sympathy, no remorse. I'm not sad by it. It's just embarrassing for him and whatever. So more power to him. If you think it's going to help him, whatever. So it is what it is. I know the fan base is really divided here. I know people want him to have money and be here and be happy, but man, I don't know. What's going on, White? What's going on, bro? We got Detroit basketball video dropping later tonight, so the upload streak will continue. I don't count this as an upload. I just count this for fun. So hopefully it can work for the next 45 minutes to half an hour, whatever I got left. But yeah, man. If I'm Darius Slay or Snacks, now for Snacks, I'd be a little bit more worried because, he is on the decline of his career. He's not going to get back. I think we're back up and running, but it's probably going to do it again soon. So let's try to, I don't want to hurry it up because it's only been going for 15 minutes almost. But I'm going to try to have it here so the AC can hit it better, see if that works. I just got to really start streaming at my house more. So might go live later tonight to try to do this again. I don't know, but I'm trying. I need to get my AC recharged because my AC is not really that strong. But it is what it is. This might be. Hey, you know what? On the plus side, if you're watching this later, you get a bunch of pee breaks. So if you get bored when it's reloading, just go to the bathroom, make sure you wash your hands, and come back. So it is what it is. I don't even know what I was saying last because I lost my train of thought. I hope it was something good, but I don't know. I don't know. Trying to think where I was at. I think it was the 2 years left on their contract. It was. I don't know where I was going with that. I don't know. But Hard Knocks. This could be a play for Knox. Be a really dumb play, but Patricia just said before I went live that he does not believe that they will be on Hard Knocks. The NFL and HBO have not reached out to him about it, so he does not believe that they'll be on it, but he's still uncertain about it. And I'm surprised they haven't said anything discussing who's going to be on it, because I figured they would have said something by now, even if it was like Jacksonville or something. It doesn't have to be Detroit. You figure they'd let the team who's going to be on it know as soon as possible. Because it's got to start filming here pretty soon. Summer camp is starting right now, and you're going to want to see all the position battles and all the training facilities. So I don't know. You think they'd want to start production on it right away and tell the players what to do, but I don't get it. So hopefully the Lions don't get it, but I wouldn't be surprised if they do. And you know what? I think I'm the only person here who wouldn't mind them being on Hard Knocks. It's a huge rumor is going to be. Mike says it's a huge rumor is going to be us. It's going to be us, you think? Pro Football Talk said that. See, I'm kind of on the fence. Like, I want it because I like the show and I want to see it with the Lions, but at the same time, like, I know all the drama that happened, but like, look at Cleveland last year. Cleveland surprised the world last year of how good they were, and we bought into Hard Knocks, and we've grown to like all the players there. Like, I like Baker. Baker's my guy. So I was kind of like rooting for him all last season. I hope that can kind of do that with the Lions, but at the same time, it got the Cleveland's coach fired. And I don't know what kind of pressure that's going to put on our guys, especially since we have so many young guys that we're rooting and pulling for to have some good seasons. But we have a mix of some good veterans. The hardest part about Hard Knocks, excuse me, is the last episode where they make all the cuts and they show you the interviews of cutting them, which I don't think that's cool. Getting cut is embarrassing. It's like the downfall of your career. It's like the darkest moment in your career. And having someone like Theo Riddick, who's been on this team for so long and everyone knows who he is one of the most highly anticipated, I shouldn't say anticipated, but most likely cuts. And that is going to be tough to watch if that does happen. I'm not saying that he's going to get cut, but if he does, he will be on there in front of the millions and millions of Lions fans getting cut. And it's sad, and that part shouldn't be on there, in my opinion. It's tough. It's really tough. It's not cool. I don't like that part. But I like watching all the young guys you don't know work hard, and it shows you really how hard you have to work to even make a third string position in the NFL. It's crazy how good and strong and fast these guys are. I'm kind of interested in it, especially after seeing that little clip today on Twitter of Matt Patricia on the McAfee podcast and him just drawing on the desk. I mean, that's going to be good TV if he's going to be like that for the whole show. So, I mean, there's pros and cons to it, without a doubt. But man, I don't know. Well, they don't really show their playbook. They'll show them running routes and stuff. Like, pretty much last year, they showed Baker and Tyrod Taylor throwing passes, and their receivers making one-handed catches and doing all that stuff. They didn't really break down their playbook. They did talk to them about like techniques and stuff. They didn't really go over plays because that wouldn't be fair. You can't do that. They'll do show them in like the game clip room going over what to do when something like this happens, studying film and all that stuff. But they don't just go through there and all right, so this is gonna happen. Here's our play. It's not going to be like that. If that was the case, Jim Bob Cooter would have been fired like 5 years ago before he was even promoted to offensive coordinator, because we would have been exposed because we were exposed without Hard Knocks. So that's the case. But they don't just go and show them playbooks. It's not Madden. You can't see our playbooks. But I don't know. It'd be fun TV, and plus it'll give me free content. I'll be able to review it. Maybe the Lions Roundtable can review it. I don't know. That's something to look into, guys. Just letting you guys know that is the case. I'm giving you guys ideas, but that would be cool. Free content for me to talk about it every week, give my thoughts and predictions about it, and just really get to know this team better and watch them take off, because I think they're underrated, under the radar team this year, underdogs. Everyone's picking the Packers and the Bears to win the NFC North. There's a few of them picking the Vikings. No one's picking the Lions. And I think the Lions improved the most out of all the teams in the NFC North. So, who knows, man? Who knows? Who knows? You can't go wrong with free content, man. Free content is amazing and easy. I shouldn't say easy, but it'll be fun to talk about, most certainly. I think the Browns were the exceptions. What the Browns go 8-8? I mean, they went 0-16 the year before and won half the games that they played in. That's pretty crazy. That's pretty crazy. They went 7-9. Well, they tied. They tied one. So it was 7-8-1, right? Either way, you won a crazy amount of games over how many you lost the last few years. So that's crazy. It was a crazy turnaround for them, and now they're a strong-nosed team to win the AFC North. So I don't know. I think they put a lot of pressure on Baker and give him another chip on his shoulder, but I don't know. I see the cons for it, trust me. I just want to watch it for the Lions standpoint, but that's the fan inside of me. But the guy who talks football and all that stuff, it's going to be bad for chemistry, especially with a big play Slay and Snacks sitting out. I'd guarantee those guys are going to be fun in training camp. So, that would be good for their ratings and stuff. You don't want to have people dogging the front office for not having guys on their show and forcing you to sign these guys. Because if the front office doesn't want to sign them, I trust Bob Quinn to do the right thing. It's Bob Quinn's team. He hasn't led me astray yet. He's made terrific decisions for everything that he's done so far, drafting, trading, and signing. I don't have any doubts in Bob Quinn so far. He hasn't given me any reason to doubt him yet. So I trust him, man. I do. I heard Patricia say today that if they are on Hard Knocks, he is going to be talking to former head coaches that were on the Hard Knocks to see how they handled it. But if I'm Patricia and I don't want to be on there, I don't talk to the cameras. That's just my opinion. If I don't want to be on the show, you can't make me talk. So, but at the same time, they pay you extra. They have to pay you to be on Hard Knocks. You can't just do free television. So there would be incentives for the guys who are being held out. So maybe that could help them come back. I don't know. I don't know how much they paid people to do it, but it's crazy. And I don't want to jinx it, but I'm surprised my phone's held up this long. The Lions can't say no. You have to make the playoffs, or what was the other exemption? There was some other exemption, but you have to either be a playoff team or be featured on it in like the last 10 years or something like that. So if they do pick the Lions can't say no. And I think they're saving for the Raiders for when they officially move to Vegas. So that way it'll be the first time they're in Vegas. I think that's just my opinion. So no rookie. Yeah, that's what it was. No rookie coach. So they couldn't do the Lions last season since it was Patricia's first year. So they can't say no this year. If they pick the Lions, they have to do it. But I wouldn't be over enthused about it if I'm Patricia and don't want to do it. But I don't know the contracts that make you sign. If I was Patricia and I didn't want to be on it, I'd sign the contract where they had to blur my face out and change my voice so that way they didn't know who it was. because like they do on cops. Because if I don't want to do it, I don't want to do it. You can't make me do it. But I'm a rebel. I don't do what people tell me to do. It's just my standpoint. It's not always the best for business, so take that with a grain of salt. But I don't know, man. I'd love to see it happen. At the same time, I don't want to see it happen. I'm on the fence. If it doesn't happen, I don't care. If it happens, I don't care. So, the biggest point is getting Snacks and Big Play Slay back on the team. Whatever you got to do. If you got to trade them, you got to trade them. I don't think it's going to go that far, but you got to do what you got to do, man. But if people don't want to be here and don't want to partake in team activities and help establish a winning culture, I don't want them here. I want guys who are going to bust their you-know-what off and come to work every day. That is the Detroit mindset. Detroit, you come in with your hard hat, you come in with your lunch pail, and you go to work. You don't complain. You don't ask for trades. You don't demand more money. You come to work and you perform no matter what. No matter who you're playing, good, bad, mediocre, from 0-16 to 16-0, you come here and you perform to your best of your ability. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're Matthew Stafford. I don't care if you're the water boy. You don't make those kind of demands with contract. When you're under contract for 2 more years, that's insane. It's not like they have 1 year left. They're going to get paid their final year. Trust me. Trust me. Whether it's the Lions or not, you're going to get paid. You might get franchise tagged. I guess that's the problem. I know. I didn't think about that. If they get franchise tagged, so what? I think the franchise tag goes up to like $20 million. I don't get the problem with that. If you want to leave, ask for a trade. But getting paid $20 million a year to play 16 games of football, potentially 17, making the playoffs, that's insane. Plus you get playoff bonuses if you make the playoffs. That's insane. That's a lot of money, man. They're acting like they're broke, and they're not broke. I don't get it. You know, I don't feel bad for these guys at all. Like I said, they're getting paid more money than I'll ever see in my lifetime. Don't feel bad for these guys. I really don't. And it's a shame because I love them, you know. Calvin Johnson was my guy, man. You know, I went to battle for him. I went to battle for Stafford. I've gone to battle for... you know what? I don't have to go to battle for Snacks or Slay because their game reflects how good they are. No one ever says that they're garbage because they're not. And if you say that, you're a moron. But I don't know, man. Life's not all about money. You know, money doesn't make you happy. Money does not make you happy. And if they don't want to be in Detroit, you know, they want to go somewhere where it's warm and, you know, they don't have to work as hard and go team up with somebody, let them go, man. Like I said, I want people who are happy to be here and want to establish a winning culture here and help turn this franchise around. But you just don't need these distractions right now, especially when you're trying to groom all these young players to be good and show them how to play football the right way. You don't need this distraction. And it's untimely. It's not fair to the rest of the team. It's just, you're letting your teammates down. You're being a bad teammate. Because while your teammates are here, you know, working hard, getting sweaty, getting hurt, you're not there. And these two guys are supposed to be the leaders. You know, those two guys and Trey Flowers are really the leaders of this defense. You know, everyone looks up to those guys. And when 2 of your 3 leaders aren't there at practice, that's not a good sign. You know, this defense was projected to be a top 5, top 10 defense this year. Your two of your best players aren't there right now, man. That's gonna hurt. But hopefully these young guys have that hunger, that fight, that ruthless aggression to take advantage of this opportunity and potentially, you know, get themselves a roster spot. But hopefully that rubs on those guys, the younger guys, that they won't do that when they're in that position. But it's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's a weird time we live in where a bunch of money doesn't mean anything anymore. People do need to apologize to Stafford. Stafford is... You know, you never hear Stafford complain. Now, Stafford did get paid. At one point in time, he was the highest paid quarterback in the league, but it took him like almost no time to get past. Stafford won us a game with a broken collarbone. Stafford does not complain. I've never heard Stafford complain once, and it's because he's not on social media. Sometimes that's for the best. When you don't have social media, you don't see the dark side of social media all the time. It's probably for the best, but it is what it is. And I don't think Slay wants to go anywhere because he's still repping Detroit. He wears the Detroit gear every day, and that goes a long way. He just wants money. Like I said, money doesn't buy happiness. It really doesn't. It might buy you temporary happiness, but no one's going to look back when your career's over and say, man, he made $200 million over the course of his career. No. We've seen this. People judge you by how many rings you win. They're not going to remember Tom Brady for all the money he's made or taking pay cuts. They're going to remember him for the 6 Super Bowl rings. That's what they're going to remember him. 20 years from now, that's all they're going to remember is that he won that many rings. And they're going to be looking back at Darius Slay Snacks and realizing, oh, they just want money. They're not going to. They're going to be like, oh, Darius Slay never won a Super Bowl with the Lions. It's kind of a shame. Wasted its spot. So I don't know. People don't judge you by how much money you make. And it's not like I said, man. It's not like they're getting chump change. We're not robbing these guys blind. They're getting paid good money. Good money. I don't like the whole mindset like that. I don't. And I understand football is the most physical sport known to man. And you risk a serious injury every time you step on that field. All the hard hits, running, tearing something. I get it. Concussions. You really risk getting hurt out there. It's for men. If you're not a tough guy, you can't play football. You have to be able to take pain. I get it. I do. If I was playing, I would want something. But man, they got so much money, man. It's crazy. Stafford needs to win a ring before he retires. He really does. If not, he will be remembered as a guy who threw for a bunch of yards and touchdowns. But look at Dan Marino. They called Dan Marino the best quarterback to never win a Super Bowl. And if Stafford doesn't, they might have to put him in the conversation. They'd look at Darius Slay and be like, oh, he's one of the best corners to never win a Super Bowl. I mean, they judge everybody. And it's not just for the NFL. It goes for hockey, baseball, and basketball. They judge you by how many championships you win. Reggie Miller for basketball, one of the greatest shooters of all time, never won a ring. Charles Barkley might be the best player to never win a ring. It happens. You can be a good player, a great player, an all-time great, and not win a ring. It happens. But it helps you boost your legacy. At the same time, Trent Dilfer has a ring. And it wasn't because he was lighting defenses up. No, he had that Ravens defense carry him. Joe Flacco has a ring because of the Ravens defense carrying him. I mean, sometimes bad quarterbacks win. It happens. Sometimes great quarterbacks don't. It's just a part of life. It's not fair, but life's not fair. Sometimes you have to eat crap and learn to like the taste of it. I wish Stafford could do it, but Stafford's one of those guys that if he goes to Jacksonville, where they have that tremendous defense, and he gets something behind him, which I think Detroit is starting to build it here, a run game and defense, he can help win a Super Bowl. I mean, he is that good. He might not be the most accurate quarterback, but he has one of the best arms I've ever seen. Mahomes has only played 1 year. I think Mahomes has the best arm I've ever seen. I think it's between him. All right. Okay. All right. Definitely not people win. I mean, Stafford's got to win games, man. That is the knock on his career. He hasn't won any games yet, but the team hasn't put anything behind him. Stafford had a top 5, top 10 defense once in his career, and they did go to the playoffs, and unfortunately had to play the Saints and New Orleans. So, like I said, life's not fair, man. Life is not fair at all. So, some players get rewarded, some players don't. This is the way life goes. It's just the way life goes. But I'm going to wrap it up there. I have to get back to work. I got my phone cool down. My phone is like burning my hand. We have to save live streams for when I'm either home or in the winter because my phone can't handle it. iPhones are junk, I guess. I don't know. But thank you guys who came out. Appreciate your patience. leave it down in the comments down below if you're okay with them holding out, if you're not okay. Gonna upload a video tonight about the Pistons, and depending on how well this turned out, I'm gonna have to go back and watch it, see how edity or choppy it is. I might have to break down a single video and just talk about it in my spare time, or I might try to go live again tonight to help fix it. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But Instagram, Twitter links in the description. Check those out. And all the DSA members are in there as well. Be sure to talk to them, check them out. I'm sure they're going to be talking about this on the round table. So be sure to check those guys out. And I appreciate all you guys for coming out and staying patient. It means a lot. Thank you again for helping me get to monetization point. It's going to be a long road, or it has been a long road. It's going to be an even longer road to get where we want to get to. But one step at